So we will have a backup. No worries. Okay. Oh, Cash. Thank you.
Novil, please the interpretation button.
Yeah. Okay. Can you give the instruction before you go do that? Kiri? Give me 1 second.
Ya, bagi teman-teman yang butuh translation, interpretasi bahasa Indonesia, nanti bisa memilih bahasa Indonesia setelah ini sehingga bisa mendengarkan interpretasi dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Siap, siap.
Okay. Pesh, you can start your session and then we will see whether it's going to work. The interpretation is working. So
Okay.
give me space. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You. All right. Yeah, thank you so much for welcoming me, Kiri, from Indonesia. So my name is Pech Limgatluak. I'm the African representative for Rice Initiative, and the same time also for Resilient. So thank you all the participants. And before we start, I'm going to take us through some values and ground rules that we need to follow in the due course of the session so that we really go well. So like we're among the values that we design, first of all, we need to have respect everyone's voice and opinions. So like in the session, we're going to have people that will be giving their own opinion and suggestion. So please, let's try to leave everyone's opinion. We believe that every answer is right. There's no wrong answer on this earth. So that is our belief. And also we also need to inclusivity, and so all participants feel comfortable to share. Yeah, so we're in diverse background, cultures, and different regions. Please, let's try to be inclusive. Let's try to ensure that we ensure everyone feel comfortable, right? Then clarity. So when you're giving any point, you make sure you have to be straight to the point and precise, because when you take like many hours, it will not look good. Yes, so you be clear and precise when giving raising a point or giving a suggestion. Then the next one is collaboration. Work together towards share understanding and goals. So we just need to listen. We have to collaborate together. Yeah. So then the ground rules. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Like when you join, or maybe network happen to interrupt you. So please ensure that you mute your microphone unless you are speaking. Then the rule number 2, raise your hand if you would like to contribute or ask a question. Then rule number 3, give everyone a chance to speak by keeping your question and statement brief. So when you're raising a question, you make sure you make it brief, because there are other participants from other parts that may also want to raise their questions. Yeah. Then the rule number 4, use your time wisely to ensure that all voices are heard. Yeah, it's the same thing. So those are the rules that we're going to follow throughout the session, and because the session is going to run up to December. Yeah. So next. Question only at the question time. Yeah. So like in case you have question, you have a notebook there that you'll be putting down everything that you may want to ask. Then when it is question time now, that's where you can raise up your hand. Then we'll see how it can be addressed. And keep questions in the chat, please, until the question time is on. So sometimes if you, like, there are people that may have challenge with the network, but there cannot stop you from asking your question. So you can make sure that you type the question in the chat box, then somebody can read it out if you cannot speak. So those are the few information that I would like to give us. Yeah, and thank you so much for being attentive.
Maybe Pesh, you could kindly invite Isuru.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Kiri. So at this time, I'm inviting Usuru to take us through the next part.
Good evening, good morning to everyone, good afternoon to everyone. So this is the very first day of our Tsunami 20 plus next generation Photowall resilience program. So there were 34 applications and 35 accepted. I'm really thankful for those who accepted and be part with this program. So thank you so much. And like this slide say, be stronger together and more to be. And then after that, we let more to be added to in this group. And yeah, next slide. So we have all the participants, partners, and will be co-creators and for this project. We have a group for we have sent emails for the participants, and we created a group of partners, and there will be co-creators and co-authors of the project. So this is the way we going to move forward. And next slide. So back to what we have to start the why we are here this very moment. So in the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami was caused by a massive undersea earthquake off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia on December 26, 2004 with a magnitude of 9.1, 9.3%. Absolutely devastated all parts of Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and India, and as well as Thailand too. More precisely, it triggering powerful tsunami waves devastated coastal regions, precisely 14 countries. Countries like Thailand, Sri Lanka, India, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Malaysia, Myanmar, Somalia, Madagascar, Australia, Oman, Tanzania, and many more. So tsunami struck with little warning. Those days we haven't had a tsunami warning system. So most of the people got confused, and more than 230,000 people died and leaving a lot of homeless. So it's very which was really heavy impact for the livelihoods in South Asia as well as Indonesia and other countries. So it's a significant event in human history. So next slide. So our objective is engage young people in discussing community challenges like disasters such as tsunamis, conflicts, climate change through Photovoice methodology. And the second one is showcase youth.
Langsung. Oh, saya dari habis lebaran nggak bisa ikut senam.
Showcase how you preserve the experience, community resilience in their own environments. And then the most important thing is inspire youth worldwide to foster resilience, support disaster recovery, and address challenges like climate change, demonstrating the power of their actions. So we are not only limited to tsunami, but to multiple hazards. So we are facing numerous challenges throughout our livelihood. So we would like to make a note out of this in this very program. So next. This is our project overview. So we started by call for application back in August, and we have participant selection process as well. More than 75 people are participated, and here we are today now, virtual training. So then we had a Photovoice by youth program, and then we have in-country events. So finally, we would like to have a launch in a global event. We have to show the world that we are capable and we are very impactful people for the worldwide to have significance in tsunami as well as significant in tsunami as well as in other hazards. So these are our objective project overviews. So I will introduce our spokesperson today. So maybe a lot of people know him who he is, but Dr. Novil Wijesekara, who often calls himself a tsunami graduate, began his journey in disaster management and public health in tsunami-affected village in Sri Lanka. He co-founded the Community Tsunami Early Warning Center and later established the Community Tsunami Museum and Education Center and dedicated to resilience and education. So through these initiatives, he turned a local tragedy into a platform for learning preparedness. So his deep-rooted experiences in tsunami and other disasters responses shape his approach to resilience across health systems, communities, and individuals today. He remains a powerful advocate for disaster preparedness and resilience in vulnerable communities. So without further ado, our spokesperson, Mr. Dr. Novil Wijesekara. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Isru, for that wonderful, kind introduction and also taking us through this process. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you so much, everybody, taking time off on a Saturday and also committing to be doing the same over the next few weeks when we come towards the 26th of December, the date of the tragic tsunami. But it's not a tragedy now, but we need to make sure that we are become resilient against other hazards as well. So that is the whole idea of this project. So before I move on to, for those who join late, there is an attendance sheet link on the Google chat. Isru would be putting it again. Please put your name and details there. We would be very strict with the attendance of the participants because they will be getting a very valuable certificate at the end and also their name on the wall. And also we are giving parallel translation in Bahasa Indonesia. Therefore, if possible, you can join by clicking on the interpretation button. And thank you so much, Kini, for doing that task on a volunteer basis. And let's now move on to a little bit of Photovoice methodology. So what is Photovoice? Photovoice is a participatory method where individuals use photography to capture their experiences and share their perspective on community issues. So I have a very honored colleague here, that is Dr. Aslam Saja. He's actually one of my teachers in community-based disaster risk management. So we have many methods that we can use in community-based disaster risk management, but one of them is community in this approach is Photovoice. So Photovoice is a method that was developed basically many years ago, 1992, by two researchers, Caroline C. Wang of the University of Michigan and Mary Ann Barish, who was a program officer for Women's Health at the Ford Foundation headquartered in Beijing, China. So they use this methodology. So for this project, we have taken the Photovoice methodology as the blueprint. So this whole project we have planned already up to the participant selection, up to the end of the Photovoice wall. We have followed this methodology by Lawrence and et al. So first we learn about the Photovoice principles, then we take photographs, then we discuss photographs and reflect on our experiences. We write and dictate narratives. Then we select the best photos to share with the others. And then we invite other people to share them on a discussion. And then we exhibit it. And finally, we use our photography to make decisions or change decisions or influence decisions or advocacy with regards to disaster risk reduction. So, though it is a methodology that can be used in both research and practice, so we are trying to use it mostly in a practice setting here. So our aim is to engage youth. This is the year of youth engagement in disaster risk reduction. You would have heard many discussions, and two of our colleagues, Isuru and Dimanta, were fortunate to represent youth at a forum 2 weeks ago with the UNDRR head, Dr. Kishore, in a forum. But what we are trying to do in this particular forum or this project is to use the Photovoice methodology to get the youth engaged. So let's watch a small video that we produced exclusively for you to give you an idea about the Photovoice methodology.
Meet Aisha, Rohan, and Mira, 3 young people living in different parts of the world, each facing serious threats. Aisha's community was devastated by the tsunami. Rohan's village was swallowed by floods. And Myra's town was scorched by wildfires, leaving homes and forests in ashes. But they didn't stand still. Instead of feeling powerless, they turned to Photovoice, capturing their community's stories in ways words never could. Armed with just a camera and the desire to create change, they showed the world what was happening, not just through facts, but through emotion and hope. The first step was capturing the challenge. Aisha's photos told the story of her broken community after the tsunami, destroyed homes, lost streets, and the people slowly rebuilding. Rohan's images froze moments of flooding that threatened his village year after year. And Myra's lens caught the charred remains of her town after fires tore through. Their photos weren't just pictures. They told the emotions, struggles, and resilience of their people. Then they shared their photos with their communities. Youth like them gathered with adults, discussing what each image meant. They talked about how their lives were being shaped by these disasters, what needed to change, and how they could make that change happen together. Finally, their stories reached decision makers. Aisha's photos got the attention of local leaders, who built new tsunami shelters. Rohan's work brought his community together, leading to flood prevention efforts. And Myra's images helped launch a wildfire awareness campaign, reducing the risk of future fires. Through Photovoice, these youth turned their experiences into change. Why does Photovoice work? It's simple but powerful. It's about empowerment, giving people the ability to express themselves through images. It's about community, sparking conversations that lead to solutions. And it's about advocacy, turning stories into action. Photovoice helps people see things they might have missed and brings them together to make things better. Now it's your turn. Just like Aisha, Rohan, and Mira, you can use Photovoice to share your story and create change. Whether you're facing environmental, social, or personal challenges, your voice matters. With a camera in your hand and a message in your heart, you have the power to make a difference. The world is ready to see your story. Meet Aisha.
Okay, thank you so much for watching that. So, Photovoice is a very powerful methodology. Why is it powerful? You heard in the video as well. It helps share what is important to you. So tsunami might be important to some of us, some of you, but it might be floods in another setting. So what is interesting and important to you may be floods. Or so somebody else, it may be solid waste management. For example, Dr. Saja is involved in a project in the east of Sri Lanka where they are using technology and youth engagement to solve the problem of solid waste management. Or in some part of the world, it may be drought. Or for others, it may be climate change. For some others, it could be social issues such as poverty. It could be issues such as gender-based violence or lack of access to healthcare. So whatever the issue that we are discussing, Photovoice methodology helps you to pick what is important to you. It also helps you to connect people. It is different from a photographic exhibition. right? You have a photograph and people come and watch it and go. But here it's different. You use your photograph to get people to talk about real issues that people are facing every day. And also, it calls to create change. Photos can lead to solutions and actions. These actions and solutions can be by the community, or it can be broader systems such as policies, strategies, and other kinds of interventions that the community can have an influence on. So Photovoice is a powerful methodology that we can take both the disaster risk reduction and resilience efforts forwards. The 3 steps of Photovoice. So we have simplified Photovoice methodology for you as participants. First, you have to capture the challenge. Take photos of things that matter or need change. Photovoice should not always portray bad things. It can also portray good things, best practices, things that are happening quite well that needs to be amplified or done at scale in other parts of the world. Step 2, reflect and discuss. Don't keep your photograph for yourself. Get that photograph with as a stimulus for a discussion. Sit on over coffee or tea or whatever the drink you have or food and try to have a discussion about that photo with your community members. Step 3, have an advocacy and action. Try to use this discussion and the photos to influence the policymakers, implementers, and planners. Write a letter to them, have a meeting with them, invite them to a forum and discuss your issues with the use of photographs and the dialogue that comes out of it. So Photovoice, it's very easy. You take photos of your challenges or the opportunities that you are having. You have a discussion among your community. It can be 2-3 people. It can be hundreds of people. It doesn't matter. And your discussion, use it to get the attention of the policymakers, decision makers to do the things in the right way. When doing Photovoice, ethics is very important. We have to make sure that we protect participants' dignity and privacy. Therefore, in Photovoice, we have to remember that we are going to share these photographs with the world. So we should not take photos that can be identified, especially people, or we should not breach the privacy of the participants. And we have to be responsible in storytelling. It can be a very tempting problem. It can be a challenging situation. But think about the impact of your storytelling. What unexpected things can happen due to your storytelling. So be mindful. Don't be emotional. Be wise as well. Build trust and respect within the community. Use your photographs to build trust and respect within the community for you as well as for the issue that you are talking about. If you take individuals' photographs or you go into some personal property, we should always get signed consent from everybody involved. So you have to tell, we are doing a Photovoice contest program. This is not a contest. This is the process. Therefore, it's always good to avoid individuals in the photographs in an identifiable form. For example, if you take a photograph of somebody with part of their hand, not your face, or from an angle that does not identify, or you can blur that person, that is fine. But if you want to put that person in a photograph in his form, you have to take consent. And then tell the participant what your role is. Okay, invite them. It's not that we can take photographs of everybody. We should be able to get the participants' role, to give them invite and then participate, right? And think about the potential risk. Can your photograph create security threats for that person? For example, if you're talking about a sensitive issue such as sexual orientation, if you take a photograph of somebody and tell this is this person, that person might be subject to harassment as a part of your photograph, right? So think about this. So informed consent is very important. So try your best not to take photographs of human beings. If you have to do that, then you have to get written permission, which is not easy. Therefore, we have to be mindful. So how can we handle sensitive issues? Avoid capturing images that may be invasive. That is the easiest thing. Like dirty apartment of some individual. You can take something of a photo, but not somebody's person's dirty apartment, or that person, the somebody's personal property. I mean, you don't go and take a photograph of some individual's underwear, for example, right? Which is not nice. We don't want people to come and take photographs of our underwears, for example. Be cautious with the context that may unintentionally reveal somebody's identity. So you might take a photograph of a house and you are not thinking, but the house name or house has some unique feature that will make that person identify. So don't do that. Always consider dignity and privacy of the people involved. Always ask, if this is a photograph of me, would I like this photograph to be taken? If you don't like it, if you don't please don't take that photograph. And also recognizing the potential inappropriate images, inappropriate visuals, avoid images showing visible underwear or private home areas. It's not nice. We don't do that. Many people do that in TikTok and in social media, but that is not our intervention, right? We have to think, okay, if this person come to watch it, will that person be happy? As long as the person is not identifiable, place is not identifiable, that is okay. Environmental cues ensure that photos do not reveal unintentional personal details. Like if you take a shop, you take the shop with the board of the shop, the name board, address, everything. That can create problem, and sometimes you might face problems of litigation. So if you are taking a photograph, think, balance your emotion, balance your heart and the mind and your hand, so that you are creating a powerful message, but you're not impinging on anybody's, personal integrity. Recognizable faces of vulnerable individuals. So avoid direct facial shots. We see a lot of this in our part of the world, right? Foreigners come, they take children's photographs with children, give them some toffees and post them with their, brown or black children on their social media as they're like toys or as they're like some objects, So that is not good, right? So we should not do things that we don't like other people to do to us, right? So we don't want our children to be appearing in somebody's photograph, right? Even we don't post our children's photographs on our social media sometimes for security reasons, right? So similar way, here also you have to be more careful. So don't just go and take photographs. So we are going to do a peer review process. So we will discuss, and we have about 8 sessions before we publish our Photowall. So every day we will have 1 hour of discussion, expert coming and talking to you, and then 1 hour of Photovoice session among ourselves. So we can criticize, we can tell the bad things about the photos, good things about the photos, and look at the ethical aspects. So our whole group will become an ethical review committee for this selection of photographs. So we will, before you take photographs, we will tell you don't take photos like this, okay? So from next week onwards, we will inform you, we will break into groups, and we will discuss the photos that you bring in, and then try to give you advice on how you could take those photos better without impinging on any unethical issues. So alternatives for respectful storytelling. Blurring or cropping, removing identifiable features. Like if you have somebody's picture, you can blur that area so that person cannot be identified. Body parts or metaphors, like use hands, feet, or symbolic items instead of faces, right? You don't have to go and take that person's full face, for example. You can use hands or feet or some symbolic item to tell the same story. That is where the creativity is coming in. And take contextual shots. Focus on scenery or objects that represent the story. So we will be bringing in a very good experts on both on photography and videography. We have some amazing experts joining us partners. So those partners will give you sessions on how to take good photographs, how to take powerful photographs, even with a very simple mobile phone camera, right? We are not worried about using expensive cameras. Some of you don't have even cameras. That is okay. Use whatever you have. And for some people who don't have photographic abilities, we have even thinking about you can draw something and send us. We will still post them if it is a good, powerful tool. So these are the tips for great photographs. Focus on what matters. Capture what you want people to understand. Think about what you want to bring into the discussion, to the table. Is it climate change? Is it tsunami preparedness? Is it environmental pollution? Is it poverty? Is it lack of access to education? Whatever you want to bring into the table, capture what you want people to understand. Then show emotions. A photo can say more than words, right? So we try to capture emotions and issues in the photograph. And be creative. Tell your story using different angles, lights, and detail. I'm not an expert on this, but we will bring in best of the experts who can tell you more about those issues. So with that, let's open the floor for questions. A few questions. We will take 5 minutes for questions, and then we are going to do our for us to discuss. Yeah, I see some suggestions. Yeah, can you put a Google form? Yes, we will consider that next time. We have asked so many forms for you to fill already. That's why we thought we will just put a Google sheet, but that's a good suggestion. We will consider that. Are there any technical questions that you want to ask before we go into the real Photovoice test run? We will do a simulation of a Photovoice from some photographs that I have taken. But before that, you can open up your camera for 5 minutes. We can take some quick questions. Anybody wants to ask any questions? Okay. If there are no questions, we'll move. We will take the questions at the end because Photovoice simulation will give you some, yeah, I see a question. No questions yet, please. Wonderful. Thank you. So now we will go into some photographs that I took. And I will tell you my story about those photographs. We are going to discuss about 3 photographs. And then we will go into 3 breakout rooms with Kiri, Isuru, and Pesh. So maybe those who want interpretation in Bahasa Indonesia probably can go into Kiri's group. But those who can understand and speak in English, please go into other groups also. Then we can have a more international experience and share experience broadly, but we should not make language a barrier. So you go to the discussion rooms and you will discuss about the photos. What do your group think about those photos in addition to what I talked about them, and what would be the recommendations? But first of all, let me share my photographs. This is my first photograph. So this photograph I took in Kilinochchi, one of the war-affected areas of Sri Lanka. We had a 30-year-old war. And this is a landmine site. I took this after getting security clearance. I went with landmine clearers and they told me, okay, this area, you don't step into that area. You can take photograph from there. And so you can see I'm outside the danger zone. So by taking this photograph, I did not do anything that was hard for but not good for my health. So this photograph was so important for me because I met a young boy about of say 17 to 18 years of old. He was selected to go to the university, but he was poor. So he wanted another job. So he went to a landmine site to do a job. This is many years after the war. This is about 2 years ago, okay, 2 to 3 years ago. He went to work in a landmine site and he was doing night duty. And one evening, he was so lazy. He was a young boy. He was so lazy. He just saw something on the floor and he took it and smashed on the bulldozer. And this young boy lost his hand. This is after, about 2009, the war ended, and now this is 2024. That is about 15 years after the war. Another young boy lost his hand due to landmines. So I was very touched by this story, and I realized how important it is to tell the story about landmine awareness, because some of these young people, they were not there at the time of the war, right? So they did not know what is the problem. So I realized a big problem is there, and then we use this information and this story to get the attention of donors and other agencies to continue to support landmine awareness in Sri Lanka. We have very limited space occupied by landmines, less than 1.5 kilometer by 1.5 square kilometer, but that area is very hard to remove because it's a very dense forest, right? Some trees have grown over the landmine. So very small area, but the risk is still there. So this is my first story. I want you all to discuss about my story and tell us your ideas and what are the recommendations for that. And let me go into my second photograph. So this photograph is in front of the UN headquarters in Geneva. I had the opportunity to go there for a conference, and this is just in front of the Geneva headquarters. I was so happy to see the stands for bicycles. That means this is a very big office, only like very high level people can go there. But that's the first time I ever went in my life. That is also because I got an invitation to go to this conference. But I was so happy to see that they have these bicycle stands. During the economic crisis in Sri Lanka, I resorted to going to work in a bike. I cycled 17.6 kilometers every day from my home to Ministry of Health to work, and I came back. But I never see this kind of facilities. So I was very happy to see it, but also I was feeling sad why we don't have that kind of facilities for cyclists in our part of the world. And also you can see all these cars, most of them seems to be not electric cars, right? They are all contributing to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change, while, they are promoting practices that could reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So these 4 cycles actually represent climate change mitigation for me, right? So the bikes are green, and I realize why they are green, because they are making our environment green. And I use this image to talk to my friends about the importance of having parking spaces for cyclists and having more facilities for cyclists to use them. We don't have it in our country much. So now there are things getting better, but I use this photograph to get people's attention to talk about the importance of climate change. This is another photograph of a small initiative that we did during the economic crisis. This is in front of my house. This is an old cupboard that my mother used to, my mother used. She is no more there, unfortunately. But we repaired this cupboard with very little things. And so what it says is, take what you want, keep what you can. Okay? Take what you need, actually. It's not what you want. Take what you need, keep what you want. So, I thought, okay, we should help people to, during this challenging time, Therefore, we bought whatever the small things, some groceries, biscuits and everything, and we kept it. And we hope that the others will also do the same. So every day we put things, everything goes, nothing stays. So we put everything and we come in 1 hour, everything is gone. But okay, we could afford this at that time. So we said, okay, somebody who needs this is taking. So let's keep doing. But one day, somebody has bought a bunch of green leaves. You know, we eat green leaves, different greens. So somebody has bought a greens from his garden and kept it inside the cupboard and go. So I felt so happy on that day. Another day, somebody bought one coconut and kept it inside this. And later, some friends called and told me, okay, I want to buy something for your cupboard. We call it little food cabinet. And so it helps us to get this going. And I use this idea, this photograph to create similar little food cabinets in other parts of the country also. Some of our colleagues and youth volunteers who were with us, we supported them in little ways, and they also went and created similar little food cabinets. And this is part of a movement that is called Little Food Pantry Movement. That is very prevalent in US. But this is my story about resilience, how community can help each other during difficult times. Okay, I'm not a youth, but this is an old man's version of Photovoice story. So what we will do now is we will break up into 3 groups. Isuru, Kiri, and Pesh will go into different groups. And in the groups, you will take do a discussion, and all of them have a copy of this photograph. If you want to share, they can share it. They have the PDF version of that photograph. And then you have to discuss, what do you think about the photo? 3 points. And then what are the recommendations from your group for disaster risk reduction and the promotion of resilience? Those are the other 3 points. So let's do that discussion. But what we are trying to do is today is to introduce you to the practice of Photowise. And we would be doing the same thing over the next 7 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks with the photographs that you will bring from the community. Okay, with that, let me stop sharing. So our amazing all 3 moderators for this session, are you okay to start? Kiri, maybe you can invite your friends who want interpretation into probably your group, and I try to create the breakout rooms now.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yeah.
The same photographs you took that session that we heard present, no?
Yes, we are talking about those 3. So as I showed you, so I will show you the slide again. So Kiri, you can take, Isuru can take the first photograph.
Yeah.
He can take the second photograph, and Pesh can take the third photograph. Okay, so Isuru takes about the landmines photograph. Kiri takes the bicycle photograph, and Pesh takes the little food cabinet photograph. Is it clear now? Okay, it should be in your I WhatsApped you the photograph. I think people can remember, but if you want, you can use it. So let me create 3 breakout rooms. Assign automatically, include co-host, okay, and then I will create. Let's see how it went. First group has no, second group has Isuru, third group has Kiri is in group 2, Isuri is group 2. So let me move Isuri into group 1. And then where is Pesh? Pesh is in group 3. Yeah, that's good. So now Isuru is in group 1. Kiri is in group 2. And Pesh is in group 3. So we have Isuru's group have 10 people. but Kiri's and Pish group has 8 per person each. So it's 6-3. We take 27 minutes. We'll come at 6:30. Okay, is it okay? We come back at 6:30. And let me open the breakout rooms now. There should be a sign for you to join into the breakout room. Kiri, you have any issue? You can change the language if you want to, then you can talk to me if you want, Kiri. So those who are in the main room, there is a button on the right to your screen to join the groups. Please join those groups, and we are doing a group work now. Andrew, you need to move, join the group. And Emmanuel, you need to join the breakout group. Felix, you need to join the group. Isru, are you in the breakout room or not? Yeah, they are there. Yeah, yeah. So who are not joined is, yeah, it is Anga. Anga has not joined. Please join your group. Noor Hana has not joined the group. Please join your group, Noor Hana, please. Siswo Biono, not joined. Please join your group. Then Vahu Pamunga Kas, not joined the group. Please join your group. Then on the other group, all have joined. Only Ali Rusti, Anga, Nurhana, Siswo Biono, and Wahu Pamunkas has not joined. Please join your breakout group. Interesting discussion is going there, okay? Please let me know if you have any challenges of joining the group. So if you are here in the group now, you should be joining the breakout room. There's a small button that you have to click. So Anga, I will assign you to group 1. I think you were already in group 1. I'm assigning you again. You can join that group. And then we are doing a group work. So you had to join the group work by clicking on the join button in your group? Yes, wonderful. And then we have Ali Rusti, Nurhana, Siswo, Viono, and Wahyu. Please join the breakout room. Then you will be able to engage in a discussion, and we'll come back and do the debriefing. Hi, Pesh. You all finished the discussion? That is good. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we're done.
Wonderful. Maybe you can now get organized to present. We will yeah. How was your experience for that discussion? I think you will feel better if that is your own photographs than from somebody else's photograph. So
Yeah, it was amusing.
thank you.
Good enough. Yeah, all my participants are inside here.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So what we
So
will, yeah.
one of us will do the presentation for the
Yeah,
group.
yeah,
Yeah.
group. Yes, one others can chip in. And probably this is the same methodology we are going to use for the rest of the session. So first hour, we will have a technical session. And then from next week onwards, we will have photographs in the group. Like, we will everybody will bring one photograph. And now we will, try to, be in that group and discuss their own photographs and the stories and then comments about privacy, ethical aspects. So that's what we are going to do next week onwards. So it would be amazing experience over the next 6 or 7 weeks. And then finally, the best photograph that you decide or we decide as best, we will display on the Photovoice with the story. Thank you so much, Pesh, for moderating that. I think people are coming into the main session. We will so maybe we will end in. No worries, Andrew. We will share the recording later. So we are getting people. So I will close the breakup room probably.
Ini yang pertama.
They will come in another 1 minute.
Belum kamu kita pindah.
Kiri, how are you? How are you and your team? Are you ready to share your experiences? Yeah, wait. We have to now put it into English. Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. Can you please change your voice into English? Otherwise, we won't hear you. I was in English, so you have to change your thing into English now. We don't hear you yet. Okay, so yeah, maybe you can still be there, Kiri, and you can do the interpretation. Great. So now we will move on to the first group. The first group was the group with it was Pesh group, right? Pesh, over to you to share your feedback. Anybody from your group can also share, not only you.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, somebody that will chair, not me.
Okay.
Simon. So Simon, please can chair.
Right. Thank you, please. Once again, good evening. I don't know if it's morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be part of this team. From our observation, one thing that I like so much about the Photovoice is just the story that comes out from the photos. And yeah, and what I just need to say regarding that photo of where we see a cupboard and there's a little food that we have in that cupboard. That clearly resonates with me in a way that when we look at the situation of how households are, I am putting this like into my shoes where I am here in Uganda, like in Bilibili refugee settlements, which is being hit by drought. And there's a prolonged drought which has affected food production. And most of the refugees, even including the host communities, are food insecure. So if I look at this photograph, it really gives me the picture of how people are resilient through the drought, the prolonged drought, which has affected people's farms and which has affected food production. So from this picture, we of course also saw that when you look at the quality of the cupboard, it's kind of also shows that this is a middle class like household, because here locally where I am, like here in Bidi, we rarely have that kind of cupboard. But much of the communication from this picture is being food insecure. So we have also come up with some recommendations of how we can tackle this issue of prolonged drought. For our case, we looked at prolonged drought being the main cause. We came up with some key recommendations. First is we are looking at climate smart agriculture. One is we have
I think we lost you, Simon. Okay. Maybe somebody else can. Ah, yeah, you are there. You are back. We lost you for 1 minute, Simon. Yeah, please. So happy we are here.
Yes, please. Yeah, I was at the verge of explaining, coming up with some climate smart agriculture like hydroponics, and then of course coming up with a micro scale irrigation system to support household where people are grouped, like nearby households are grouped together. They do farming, growing vegetables around the backyards to make sure that it also generates enough food for the household. Then we also looked at also coming up with some smart source of fuel, like making briquettes as a source of fuel. So basically, that was the area we looked at in our group. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that group has extensively discussed the food cupboard cabinet. And also, as you very clearly mentioned, what does this picture tell us, which is not visible? For example, your analysis of the cupboard itself and your interpretation about it coming from middle class and then food security, and you link it with the drought and how you resonate with that. So that is the really the important aspect of this storytelling. And you came up with very interesting recommendations, such as, drought resistant crops and climate resilient agriculture, hydroponics. Now, this was nothing there in the cupboard. The cupboard was about food, right? So it was about a small thing in Sri Lanka. But you can see how this one photograph can simulate discussion in Africa. Like this photograph was from Sri Lanka, from just in front of my house. And now, how far have we gone in the discussion from Sri Lanka to Africa to hydroponics to social classes and people affluency, many other things. And then we did not just end up, oh, that's a beautiful cupboard. No, we came up with very tangible recommendation. If a donor says, okay, what can we do? Okay, you have answers like hydroponics and climate resilient agriculture. Thank you so much. A big applause for that group. And then we will move on to group 2, which was Kiri's group. So who is going to share some thoughts about with us from Kiri's group? Kiri, over to you. Or anybody from that group? Yeah, you put, yeah, somebody would share. Yeah, Andrew. Andrew will share from the group. Over to you, Andrew.
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Can you? Yes, I
Yes.
can. I can hear you.
Yeah, Andrew, please share your thoughts. What did you discuss?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. This is Andrew Magong from Group 2, and Group 2 was tasked to interpret and also discuss more on the picture that had 3 bicycles. And as group 2, we looked at the picture and also discuss on what it means. And we say the bicycles or the picture that was showing some 3 bicycles, we say bicycles are climate friendly transport means. And here we say bicycles produce no greenhouse gas emission, contributing to cleaner air quality and reduce climate change. Another thing is the bicycle regulates regular cycling of bicycle improves physical and health being of people, leading to or contributing to healthier population in the society. We also say use of bicycle creates equality in the community. What do we mean here? Someone who is able to afford a car and another person who is able to afford a motorcycle can. Okay, sorry, I'm having some background noise, but I'm trying to control it. I'm saying it creates equality in the community where people who can not afford to use vehicles can also use bicycles for transportation. And the other way is we say the use of bicycles also compromises our health in some areas because where we can use bicycle but still taking or inhale that that is why, and this is the air that has been polluted. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Excellent. Thank you so much for that group as well. You did an amazing job of an analysis of cycling, which sounds very nice. And then it can help climate change, it can provide health benefits. But then you brought in the complexity of, environment, how it impacts cycling. Like if you go to a city like, Delhi, for example, which has a lot of smog and air pollution, for example, cycling can aggravate health problems, right? So we are trying to reduce greenhouse gases, but greenhouse gases and the pollution can itself impact the cycling. Yeah, so those are very important things. So we have to have better systems, walking pathways, air pollution control, those kind of multiple aspects of people's health and mobility. Yeah, those are important. Oh, yeah, Oscar, I see your hands up. Over to you, Oscar, please. We love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. I'm raising hand because I need to add something on what my colleague has narrated. The use of these bicycles has significantly improved sexual reproductive health to both women and men, those who are opting to use these bicycles as a means of transport. That comes from the mental health. If people are getting more body exercises, they also are likely to improve their mental health. If the mental health is well improved, also the sexual reproductive health is also well improved. So I wanted to add that point, please.
100% agreed. That is really, really important point. Yeah, the health benefits are often not considered. Yeah. So when you cycle for 1.5 hours or 1 hour, when I used to do that, I feel very healthy at office. And then all the office stress is gone when I cycle back to home. Very, very, very valid point. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so with that, we will move on to our next group, that is Isuru's group. Over to you, Isuru, and the group.
Thank you very much. We had a landmine poster in our discussion. So we discussed about not a lot. We discussed about a lot of things. I think. Can anyone can tell those stories? Felix, Noana, Reed, Suo, Emmanuel, Anga.
I can go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did connect with my laptop. That's why I may not be able to show my face unless I use my phone.
Yeah.
However, on the mine, we did actually agree. In my situation, I'm actually a Kenyan, and we haven't had a situation similar to the cautionary image of mines, but we've had it around other particular instances. As I was in my region, I live at the floor of the Rift Valley. I actually live at the lowest, the city I'm in, it has the lowest lake in the Rift Valley. And recently, just this year, we've started having sinkholes. We've started, from nowhere, someone is waking up in the morning and you find your yard is now a hole, deep hole that nobody knows how long it measures. Even actually, where I've actually been walking around, we now have similar kind of sizes, danger, but it actually has even the tape, the yellow tape for used be as a caution not to get close. So we are having actually problems of sinkholes. I was also adding in the city where I'm in, we have a national park called Lake Nauru National Park. We've had the lake past its banks, which has led to the loss of flamingos. Flamingos has actually been the pride of my city, which was known as a park. But due to the bursting of the lake, the planktons no longer, because they used to grow at the shallow banks of the lake. And also it has actually come to a situation whereby it's actually predicted that in a few years, the city, we are 2 million people. It's expected that we'll have internally displaced people to ranging to almost 500,000 individuals, because most of the people live around there. And actually, sadly, so experiencing a situation whereby there is a crack in the Rift Valley, caused mainly by within the region where I'm in, there is increased activities of electricity generation due to using geothermal means, which has actually led to a disturbance in the tectonic plates that are here. So it's also expected that in a few years, which is something that was actually seen, region called Mahiu, which actually caused a lot of loss of lives. It's expected the crack will actually expand, which almost dictates we might actually create a new continent or even a new country due to such problems. So due to that, we don't directly experience the situation of the mines. We now have cautionary effects due to other climate-related problems due to raising temperatures, raising water levels, and also undeterred or unmanaged human activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix. That is amazing. So again, we can see some photograph from landmine risk, which is like almost gone now in Sri Lanka, to very different problem. And I can see many material for you to do Photovoice, sinkholes to loss of flamingos to the new fall that is appearing. So these are great material that we can use for telling the world, because world is so busy fighting wars, right? They are not really worried about what's happening in our part of the world. And so this can be a great opportunity for us to bring attention for people to come on board and tell our stories about these environmental issues. and get people to discuss and bring attention to these environmental issues such as climate change and other problems that we discuss. So thank you so much for that wonderful discussion that you all had. So this brings us to the probably end of this particular exercise we did, and we will now open up the floor for discussion. But let me tell you, you all were amazing. You just take the photographs in the groups, and you went in a very liberal pathway of discussing the problem, understanding it, relate to your problems, right? And then try to come out with solutions to your own problems. So this is exactly what we are going to do during the next few weeks. So when you go home tomorrow, or even today, if you have your photograph from a mobile phone or whatever the camera you have, just shoot a photograph about an issue that you are interested in and bring that photograph tomorrow when you come to the next session. So we will tell you how we are going to do that. We are creating a very interesting platform which has geotagging. So like if you tag your sinkhole in Africa, when somebody go to that, you know, photograph, they will get the photograph as well as the narrative, or it's about a volcano that erupted in Indonesia, for example. The Photowall will take you to that particular location, and it will do the photo voice. So we will let you know how to do the activity and how to bring the photographs either through a Google document or using a form. We will let you know by over the next few days, but we would be able to have a discussion next week about your photographs in addition to the technical session. So that is all from myself. And then I would like to open the floor for questions, and then maybe the round of round of insights from Pesh, Isru, and Kiri about your experience being the moderators.
I will start, I think.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I had an amazing group, and they shared some really significant stories. So I asked him about, you have any the fences. They talk about the fence. The fence is little bit low, and someone from some accident can fall into that mine because of the fence is too low. So, and the other thing was here in Sri Lanka, we use that fence for the animals like crocodiles, like elephants. I asked them, do you have any kind of problems from crocodiles or elephants? Now, in Sri Lanka, this is going to be a huge problem for the people. No? In Africa, you have any problems? So, and we discussed a lot about those things, and our team uh, propose some great ideas, and it was a very interesting session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Then we will move on to Pesh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Novil, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, in my group, it was really amazing group, and we were able to interact all. Everyone at least was able to give a point, and it was kind of that platform that show that inclusivity. Yeah. So I also learned a lot that also photos can really bring out real points, real thing in life. Like out of that cupboard, we are able to come up with ideas through just seeing the picture. So my experience was really nice, and I'm also this. I'm quite sure my colleagues also were experiencing the same. Yeah, I would like to stop here. Thanks.
Thanks. So, Kiri, are you there? And if not, we would love to get advice from Dr. Saja also. Yeah, Kiri, and then we will come to Dr. Saja. Kiri, you can just debrief and then we go to Dr. Saja to get an overview of the whole process and his valuable insights. It's really a privilege to have you with us. Over to you, Kiri, and then we'll move to Dr. Saja. Kiri, wait, I will remove you from the interpretation. Okay, now we will end the interpretation. Otherwise, you will not be able to speak. So I will end the interpretation if needed. Yeah, now you can speak.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
It's good. Thank you. Thank you. Novil. So thank you for the opportunity for this discussion. And I really amazed because at the beginning, al almost no much comment, but almost reaching the end, people are putting their thoughts, their ideas, and even I give some challenge about the comparison or the not comparison, the the versus of uh, putting climate change adaptation, bicycling has an impact on climate, reduce carbon footprint, but at the same time compromising health. I mean, like we need to address those challenges. But thank you for some inputs that already given, and also we have one participant, a lady from Kenya. Christine, thank you. She's the only lady in the group, but her voice is still heard, and we are I think we are diverse, but we have some similarities of thought, and we agree that tackling climate change is not only one action, is a very systematic, and also everyone is welcome to give their thoughts, and everyone should be considered for the for making the change. And I think this through Photovoice methodology, this is a good exercise for all of us to voice out our thought and our opinion, also suggestion and recommendation.
Thank you, Kiri. Thank you so much. That is a great insight. Especially bicycling is really good for health. I think from aerobic exercise point of view, but again, it can have negative impacts due to poor air quality, not wearing helmets and meeting with accidents. So we have to consider the whole picture. So thank you so much for bringing that complexity and nuance into the picture. So over to you, Dr. Saja. Thank you so much. Dr. Saja is a senior lecturer at the Eastern University. We have done many projects together, and he is an expert who is serving climate change. So really honored to have you, Saja. I know you're very busy. Over to you, Dr. Saja.
Thank you, Dr. Novil, and it's
Very
good to see that.
Yeah. Your backdrop, it's very familiar. Oh, I missed him. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So thank you for making this happen, and I think discussing this across the borders and different countries are in, so we were able to really share our insights. So I just wanted to highlight 2 points that came to my mind during this process. One, we are talking about 20 years of Indian Ocean tsunami, 2004. And during that time, I remember there were not much digital platforms, right? That I think that was the time almost social media was starting. It was not that popular like this. And after our discussion on this 20 years of tsunami resilience, I just went and searched for some of the photos, and I found some of the hard copies of the printed copies of the photo that was taken during the tsunami time. So still there, I need to scan it now. and maybe I can show you in the next session some of the damages that Tsunami 2004 coast were captured in the camera during that time. It's not a sophisticated digital camera, so we used to print it, right? So those photos are there. Now we need to convert into a digital platform. Maybe I will scan it and show it so that we can reflect on the damage that tsunami has done, and we can discuss how we can mitigate the future impact. So that is one thing. Second, after I mean, I have learned something about Photovoice from your session, Dr. Novil, and I think it is a good emerging session, also emerging kind of a team concept in the research as well, not only in the practice. It's been now widely used in the research as well. So what we can do maybe, or what we see during this photo based discussions is that some of the photos are not ethical, as you said. Some of the photos which portrays the people like hopeless and like they are victims. So we need to bring in a positive synergy from those and converting those photos into a hopeful and positive images rather than showing people as more vulnerable victims point of view. So it is also important for us to advocate when we have those kind of negative photos posted, so that ethically it is wrong, and then they take necessary actions to remove those kind of photos. So it happened in the past as well. I mean, sometimes when people post photos, unethical photos, we raise our voices and they remove them. And then due to the wide use of social media, people tend to just post it, any photo that they take without taking any ethical kind of review. So I just wanted to highlight these 2 points. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Noel. Thank you, others.
Yeah, thank you so much for those very important points. And maybe you could select some, very good photographs of those. I'm sure there will be many, but few of them you could probably, as a guest presenter at the Photovoice, you can write I know you are very experienced, and you can probably display some of those stories. Maybe an example of few would be really good on the wall. And yes, ethical aspects is so important. So all our photographs that we publish here on the Photowall, the digital platform we are creating, we will have a peer review process among ourselves. So both in the public, but also as sessions, and we will probably help them to make them better. For example, it's a very important photo, and then face is there. Okay, can we blur the face? So can we cover the eyes? So can we take that photo from a different angle if somebody is taking it now? So we will do that. And those are very important points. So with that, I don't see any other questions. And also it's time. So let's end this participant session today from here. And then we will discuss and let you know what would be the next week's session. And then with that, we will probably start a very brief standing meeting for 5 to 10 minutes with the partners about any future next week session, what we are going to do next week. But those who are participating as participants could leave. But if you're both a participant and a partner, then you are most likely to stay. And thank you, everybody. With that, let's end the formal session on time and then move on to the partners meeting now. That is okay. Thank you, everybody, for the participation. And we will meet at the same time, 5 p.m. next Saturday as well. And we will do 1 hour